Okay, so go ahead and just describe yourself a little bit, your name, your major, what year are you, and where you're from.
Hi, my name is Kelly Wogu. I'm a health policy administration major. I'm a senior, and I'm from DC.
Okay, and so I'm going to ask you a few questions about my class that I have. It's Sociology 409, Racial and Ethnic Inequality in America. Okay, so there are a few questions I got. Okay, so the first one is, in what ways have you observed racism in the American society?
I would mostly say through media. I haven't really experienced it
Firsthand?
firsthand yet.
Okay.
And yeah, I only see it on TV or reading about it in a blog or, yeah. Just stuff like police brutality and
Right. Have you ever seen anything maybe like on social media or people being like, what do they call them, keyboard warriors, kind of like saying things that where you could consider racist or discriminatory in some way?
no. I
No?
mostly,
You kind of keep to yourself though. You don't really
yeah,
like dive in deep into stuff like that and conversations like that.
yeah.
Well, we know it's out there because I
Yeah.
mean I've firsthand have seen it. And so okay, so more on a personal level, not necessarily what's happening in society, but more like, has anything ever happened to you that you can kind of see?
Yeah, it's actually crazy because the fact that I never seen it in public, but it has actually happened to me. Um, growing up in DC is mostly predominantly black
African American.
African
Yeah.
Americans, and uh, you know, me coming to Pennsylvania, and we got a big population of
White community, yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
yeah, and it didn't happen until we were hanging out and
Yeah, we're friends. So
yeah, we
yeah.
were hanging out. We was at a bar, and it was me and Ashten and three other
White friends.
white friends, and I'm the only black girl. And we ordered our drinks, and the waitress, she brought out the drinks. Sorry,
It's okay.
on a the little
A tray.
tray, yeah, tray. On a tray, and she sat it down on the table next to us, and so she began handing out the drinks in order. She went
In
to
the order that we were sitting and
yeah.
how we gave it. Okay.
Yeah, in order we were seated, and we were like in a round table, and it was just the fact that I was skipped because so it was three people, including Ashton, before me, and she went in order.
You were second to last.
Yeah, I was second to last, and she went to the other white girl that we were hanging out with, and then she went, she served me last, and it didn't really make much sense to serve me last because I was really next, and
Right, and it wasn't like you got like a specialty drink or
yeah,
something like
was,
that. Right.
We all had bottles. So,
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
So, I mean, I didn't really think much of it until it happened, and yeah, it was kind of like a reality check. Yeah, racism is real.
Yeah.
And for the most dumbest thing.
Right.
Like
it was something super subtle that you wouldn't really think about, but then when you're like, is she trying to say something by serving me last?
Yeah, actions really do speak louder.
Yeah.
And not only that, me growing up in a African household, Nigerian. I'm Nigerian, by the way. And yeah, I also face, well, not necessarily racism, but more like discrimination because my parents is immigrants, and we have a difficult last name to say, and
They have accents.
they have accents, and they too face discrimination at work. You know, basically because they have accents and they don't they don't think that they know much about that, even though they've been here for a long time. Uh, yeah, like my mother, she got cursed out at work, and she really didn't know what to do, and she came to me, seeking help and stuff. But
has it been like it's been a problem since they've been here?
Yeah,
and now is it primarily white people that make it an issue, or is it because you said you're more so from
my mother,
black?
She's a nurse, and
Okay.
Working in the hospital. Like, she was fired one time. Sorry about my mom.
No.
But
okay.
yeah, she was fired one time, and like they said that she didn't explain the situation well. And probably that's like she probably got fired because of her accent. They don't, because her word choice, she never took like ESL or something.
Right.
So her word choice didn't quite like explain the incident, I guess, that happened. And, a lot of people were on her side. Plus, it was that point in time when they were laying people off.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So even within your community, it's almost like a second level to discrimination or racism.
Yeah.
Not only are you guys African American and you're first generation, you're also dealing with what you would say is like a black American that isn't necessarily
that doesn't claim like being African
or like immigrant or anything like that, family wise, that they know of. So there's issues within that too as well.
Yeah, surprisingly, right? I feel like the white community is more accepting to the African community versus black community.
Wow.
I don't know.
How do you feel though? Like, what do you mean?
I don't want to talk down on the black community.
Right. No, I get it. Because you are being a first generation and being born here, you're kind of like pooled between both. Yes, you have your roots and you have your family and you have your family culture and history, but then you go to school here. You went to school elementary on up. So you're tied to that community in DC as well. So I get it. You're like, you have a different perspective than a lot of people do. So if you'd rather not though, I mean, I get it. You get it. I don't get it, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I'm not going to talk about that.
Right. Okay. Okay. No worries. Okay. So, obviously, like, you kind of touched on this a little bit about, like, that experience while we were all at the bar, and you were the only African-American there in our friend group. How did that make you feel, though, when the waitress did that? Like, obviously, that's not cool.
Yeah, like
shocked.
Yeah, it's a big shock.
Wake up call.
Yeah. And I didn't know, but having that kind of setting out of all places.
Right.
That you're out with your friends, and it kind of made me feel like I wasn't accepted there.
Yeah.
Like I'm the odd one, so
yeah.
You get served last.
I hate that.
Yeah, it's really emotional.
Yeah.
At the time, I wanted to cry.
I wish you would have said something to me, but I get it. I get you're definitely being strong about it, and it's a screwed up situation. And I can understand why you might feel the way that you feel about not going back there. That happens to a lot of people, unfortunately, and it's not right by any means. Not at all. Okay, so here's another question. It's quite broad, I would say, but maybe you can relate to something and make it more specific in your own way, but what do you believe is the root cause of racism?
I would say that, you know, being ignorant to the idea of other cultures and having the fear of getting to know about those other cultures. You know, people are just so comfortable being in their own, I guess, boat of people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sticking to their usual daily lives and, you know, daily cultures and activities that they do. So yeah, they're probably afraid to get to know people. You know.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, what I found out, you know, coming to Pennsylvania, there's a lot, you know, like how you have the Harrisburg City, like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's like where majority of the black people are located.
Mm-hmm.
Besides like Middletown,
Right.
Lancaster,
Lancaster, yeah.
Yeah, and now that I'm like driving around and seeing things, yeah, and it's like just, you know, people don't want to like get out their comfort zone, like we was talking about earlier, and yeah, I think it's just basically the fear, you know, stereotypes. You know, you probably heard about, you know, that's what they do,
Mm-hmm.
and and location. You know, just, you know, they always like mostly blacks live in like the cities, and,
Right.
like communities like suburbs and
Right.
rural areas.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think that a lack of education and knowledge really play a part in that, and by not getting to know someone because of what we consider normal, let's stay within our friend group, or we're comfortable in this situation, so let's not venture out and learn anything else, or completely.
Yeah, especially, you know, you wouldn't like feel like, yeah, we interact with, you know, there's diversity, but you know, even here at school, you know, when you walk past, like, say like a black student, you wouldn't normally like talk to them, like, you know, get to know them.
I talked to you. But I'm saying for the norm, we were in class together.
Yeah,
and
we had the same problem with our major and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I feel like I grew up with, and my dad was military, so there's all kinds of, there's always all kinds of people and different cultures. We're like a little melting pot on our own, you know, in a way.
Yeah.
So but growing up, say, 100% in suburbs of Pennsylvania might be a different story. You know what I mean? So
I went to a very diverse high school. My high school was the only high school that had white students there.
Oh, in DC.
Yeah, that's like a public high school.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, coming from that, you know, I never took the route.
Were there a lot of groups, or was everyone?
Yeah, a lot of social groups. But you know, you have the hipsters that it doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but there was usual groups.
Yeah, so you could still see it in that little high school community, that there was still like
it's definitely
separating each other.
It's definitely the school system. You know, creating how we turn to our personal groups.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. All right. So, another question: how can society improve racial and/or ethnic inequality in America? I think you touched on it a little bit about comfort zones and.
Yeah. I don't know if about what we were talking earlier with
the actor.
What actor?
Oh. What? You tell me. You just say it. I don't know where you're going.
I was saying, you know, how Morgan Freeman.
He's an actor.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, how you was saying, maybe the best way is just to stop talking about it. But
Stop talking about the issues. Is that what you're saying?
not the issues, but
Race in general.
Race. And
'Cause we're all people.
if we can take out race within the issues. Okay, let's say the police officer shot a black guy. The police officer shot a guy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, that is a lot with media.
Yeah.
Trying to like get a good story out of something, or making it something that it's not, or
definitely the media, because I think that's where everybody figure out. I mean, that's where I see racism.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and if we could get control of the media, which is probably not because the First Amendment.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how you was talking earlier, about the NFL taking a knee and being broadcasted in like the South, and they probably starting a conversation about it.
Yeah.
I mean, having a conversation about it, like you were saying, could probably improve, but is it really improving in a positive direction?
Right.
Yeah, people really get emotional about when it comes to the topic of racism. Because,
Absolutely.
yeah, in my class that I took, black people get really defensive, and it's like what I saw in the class is that like the white students was really intimidated to even like speak up, because there's this one student that had like this strong voice, and they really.
But don't you think that maybe by making it more normal, with whole like Kaepernick taking a knee, and now like a lot of NFL players taking a knee, and it creating like a conversation among people, that millions of people that watch that would never have thought to have a conversation like that, we're like normalizing it, and we're saying, yeah, like it's an issue, like let's not be afraid to talk about it. And I feel like on the other hand, that there people need to understand that there is an ignorance and there's a lack of education. Like I said, I never lived your life. You know what I mean? And I appreciate your input, and I appreciate you've been nothing but very calm, cool, and collected. Well, that's you. When it comes to when we're talking about race and issues, and rather than get upset if maybe you hear something that you don't like or don't exactly feel, you'll educate that person, or you'll make it say, well, no, this is how I feel about it. And I appreciate that very much. And I feel like you're right. Sometimes emotions do run high. And sometimes, I mean, it makes sense that they run high, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is a touchy topic for a lot of people, rightfully so. And, but like I said, maybe by normalizing it, we can kind of get into a more comfortable.
When you say normalizing it, honestly, I feel like it can't be normal.
Okay.
I'm sorry,
good.
I'm sorry. Because,
tell me.
Like back to question 4. When you asked, what's the root? Even down to the fact that it's almost like that when like a black and white person come together. It's like people don't want to see that. People don't want to see that.
Yeah, you tell me that.
Yeah, the fact how we're friends, and it's weird because not weird between us, but weird with
from looking from the like outside in, like they don't know who we are, and you said that people,
and it's like you get the automatic perception like, oh, she wants to be white.
Yeah.
Nowadays it's she wants to be black.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. And then I was the only the only white girl. Well, maybe like one of the only white girls there at the African assembly.
Yeah. But even having to live with other people's opinions. So I mean, it's easy to say that, yeah, I don't care what people think. But, I mean,
No, you're absolutely right.
yeah.
I think that
Like, every day you
like a
have to live your
stigma
life.
or something that people sometimes are like, not a stigma and like, gosh, that sounds weird. Like a black and white girl being friends
What do
with
you-
someone kind of looking like, what are they doing? You know? So they just don't,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
And I get it. Sometimes the pressure, you know, that you might be facing from being friends with me, you know, could get overwhelming. I understand that. But I'm glad we're friends, right? But anyway, so, but I get what you're saying. There's people's opinions
Yeah.
weigh heavy.
They do. And, you know, that goes back to, stereotyping and the way, they were taught. And
Yeah. Okay. Anything else, do you think?
nope, I'm pretty good.
Okay.
Just any more questions?
I don't know. I think we hit everything. Yeah. All right. Thank you.